You there, boy. What day is this?
It's Friday night.
Friday night is cool.
Thank God it's...
This is the best day of my life.
Friday night. I'm in love.
We gotta do something. Absolutely. You know what we gotta do?
What are you gonna do?
We're gonna go out and party.
For the first time in my life, I feel like there's hope.
Shock Talk Radio.
Uncensored.
And live. Cave Crew Radio.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is season 8 about to start in a very short time. The Endless Summer Beach Party is once again come and gone. We've got some great memories from it. But here we are, another year. Some big announcements. Another season where you're stuck with us here on Friday nights on Cave Crew Radio. Big B is with me as always.
Hi there. I can't believe we're at season 8 already.
I know. Do you ever get like memories come back? And I get these ones like 13 years ago, Double Talk Radio. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Oh, on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get those?
I get those come up with a lot of music stuff. And it's like, 9 years ago, this is really? Wow.
Like, so how long has it been now since Metal Thunder Radio disbanded? Because that was more recent than Double Talk, because I went from Double Talk into Cave Crew Radio and you were still doing the metal show.
That was before the pandemic hit. So maybe 2 years?
Is it
maybe 2 years? Maybe it could be 3 years.
Now, are you still in touch with the former hosts?
Oh, every day.
Yeah. Okay.
As a matter of fact, we get what we do every so often. We get together and for what we call shitty movie night. So what we do is we pick like a god awful like 1980s movie that's so bad, but you want to watch it. And we get together and we invite friends over and we drink and watch these crappy movies and make fun of them. Tomorrow night we're getting together and we're going to watch Over the Top, which is a Sylvester Stallone arm wrestling movie.
And the kid in that movie must be 30 by now.
Oh, probably more.
Yeah.
But yes, so tomorrow night we're going to watch Over the Top.
That was a great movie, and of course, you've got this massive movie collection, and you've got the new screen.
I do, but we're doing it not by my house. We're doing it at my friend's house.
Oh, someone else. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great that you stay in touch.
Oh yeah, we have just like we do with Stu. We have a thread going. I have a text thread with those guys, and we talk all day long.
That's awesome. Because for so many years you did that, and life gets in the way sometimes.
And that's what it is. I mean, one of the guys that I did it with was the guitarist, the Storm Chaser guy, Scott. I've known him for almost 30 years now. So, it's not like, we're going to lose touch because, we're not doing a radio show anymore. And the other guy, Ron, I played in his band in 2016. And I've known him, it's got to be going on 25 years. So these two guys I've known for the bulk of my life. So we're not going to lose touch anytime soon.
And now Scott, we've had on the show, and I'd love to have him on again. Chases tornadoes.
Yes.
And he still does that.
Yes.
Yeah. But we've never had the other dude on, the funny guy.
Who?
the Ron or whatever his name is.
Oh, you don't want Ron. You don't want Ron on here. He's a jerk off.
I think he'd be
I'm
awesome.
kidding. I call him that all the time. That's with love.
I
can. Well, I'm going to see them tomorrow, so I can ask if they want to.
Yeah, I think we need Ron on the show. He's never been on season 8, and I think he'd be a hoot with the stuff we talk about.
Absolutely. So I will ask him tomorrow. I will see both Scott and Ron tomorrow evening. So I will ask. I'll ask both of them because I'm sure Scott has some good stories about storms and all that stuff. So
what would be awesome is to have a Metal Thunder radio throwback. I'll just mute my microphone because when you guys get going, there's no room for talk. But I'll sit back and enjoy it, and that would be great. A Metal Thunder radio reunion, which adds to my big announcements.
Ooh, announcements.
Well, we got to keep getting creative every year,
right?
You know, and some of it is redundant, but it still becomes new.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I think a Metal Thunder reunion. Could you imagine a Double Talk radio reunion? I don't even know how to get a hold of these people. Scotty, the producer, is on the verge of suicide, I believe, and Maddie is just too busy. Matt Vanderpool was also a host at one point, and then I have no idea where Violet and DJ Chris are. But
last I saw Violet, because I'm friends with Violet on Facebook. She was living in Vegas, but was going to move to Australia.
Oh,
and that's the last I've really heard from her.
I want you to remember Australia for a later point in the show. But
okay.
yeah, wouldn't that be cool though to do 1 week? It doesn't have to be back to back, but whenever anyone's free, a throwback to where we used to be, relive some memories. A Metal Thunder radio throwback and a Double Talk radio throwback.
Absolutely, that would be a blast because I listened to I loved listening to Double Talk radio when we were on All Radio X.
And I listened to you guys all the time. I loved it. You guys were hilarious and great music, of course. And you were, I mean, you guys really promoted a lot of underground bands. I mean, you had some big interviews,
right?
But for the most part, you were promoting a lot of people that wouldn't normally get airplay.
Yeah, we did. But I found like looking back on it, I found the most fun parts weren't the music at all. It was when we were all talking and bullshitting and telling stupid stories. That was the most fun, and that was when we had the most interaction with the chat and all that because they would chime in with their stories.
Well, you can't really chime in during a song. You know, I can type in and say, "Hey guys, great song." But
well, we would have interaction while this music was playing. We'd still obviously have interaction in the chat room, but it died down once the music was playing because I mean they knew we were talking to them during chat, so they could chime in if they wanted to. But it really died down during the music, and then when we came back on and we started talking about some other dumb shit, that would trigger something else in the chat room, like, "Oh yeah, I remember this," and I found that to be the most fun part.
Yeah,
of it,
it was a crazy show. It was a lot of fun. And if you have the old shows, you should like re-release them. I've been after you forever to put them out on podcast. And
I don't know how. You have to show me.
I can if you give me some time. Or send me the files. Now I don't have to worry about the storage on my computer. We have a cloud.
Ooh,
we can share things via cloud, right?
I actually do have every single show we've ever done.
Yeah, and I've done the same with Cave Crew, and I've done the same with Double Talk. Like they're all kind of just sitting there,
right?
And we've done that thing where we've had the station, and but you know, we could do it again. Who knows?
Sure, let me know. I have them all.
Anyway, kids, the time has come. Season 8 is about to begin. Share the show. Tell your friends. What I do now is I get rid of a few things here, and then we kick off. We're going to be the epicenter of something, as we always are, And then we're also going to have some big announcements. We've also got some great stories. We still need to recap Choo Choo Mania from last week.
That's true.
Still in a Choo Choo Mania hangover, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Let me press the button here, and away we'll go.
Air traffic control, bring in New York. Roger that. Bring in Canada. 10-4. Gentlemen, we have liftoff.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Warning, Will Robinson. This program contains bad words.
Use caution. If easily offended,
Enter
at your own risk.
I guess they'll never go away. You're listening to The Big B and DK, and this is Cave Crew Radio, Season 8.
There was a time when the world turned their back on men. Men with a dream and savage yearning within them. Legions compelled by passion that knows no boundary. A consuming flame that defies plausible explanation. Battling the forces of domestication, they find the courage to band together to experience the awesome power of being men.
I say this with all due respect.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Tonight's broadcast of The Masculine Feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am.
Gotta go to a place like a shot and a beer, steak, man. Saying we can stop, get pancakes, and then we'll get laid, all right?
Why do you drink ice cold beer on a hot day?
Mr. Clement, what else are you going to do with it?
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
The Yankees are champions of baseball. It's a power play goal.
This is Cave Crew Radio.
Cave Crew Radio, it is, ladies and gentlemen. Season 8 is what it is as well. On the pre-show we were talking, it's hard to believe it's season 8, but yes, we are here yet again for another season, ladies and gentlemen. My name is DK. I am live in my cave in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. We are live over at Cave Crew Radio, and we are always available wherever good podcasts are found. And follow us on social media. All you have to do is search Cave Crew Radio, and we'll fill up a whole page of Google there for you. We've got a great show ahead. Last week, we had Choo Choo Mania 2, 4 years in the making. We have not had a chance to debrief, so we'll be able to do that tonight. I've got some major announcements that Big B does not even know about. And, of course, we've got all the weird news, pop culture, and all that's going on in the world around you. But we always start things off, ladies and gentlemen, around here. Well, at least since the pandemic came around, and it doesn't seem to be going away, so might as well continue the tradition. Joining me, as always, ladies and gentlemen, is the gentleman who was knighted by the Queen as the Duke of Uranstenchali. He is the president-elect of the dysfunctional United States of America, And of course, he is always the epicenter of something from Queens, New York, ladies and gentlemen, Sir Big B.
Yes, live from Queens, New York, I am Sir Big B, your president-elect of the United States of America. And as DK said, as always, I am the epicenter of something. This week, I am the epicenter of the 100-year flood.
Which is really weird when I looked at it because, you know, it hit New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of missed Florida and the Carolinas and went right for your guts.
And we're talking about Hurricane Ida. So Hurricane Ida came up the Gulf into the Gulf of Mexico, hit New Orleans, and then just kind of turned east and gave us basically a direct hit. And nobody was expecting the kind of storms that we got here.
Right. You always expect rain because you're on the coast.
Right. We knew rain was coming. You know, we knew the storm track and knew that rain was coming. But generally what happens when a storm comes from the Gulf, or even if it hits Florida and comes up the eastern seaboard, it loses steam once it gets over land.
Yeah.
So winds die down, rain dies down, by the time it gets us, we just have a crappy day of some rain. It didn't, it was obviously not a hurricane by the time it hit us, but the amount of rain that we got was on par with what happened to us when we got a direct hit from Hurricane Sandy, however many years ago. I mean, there was flooding everywhere.
Because what was it? It wasn't Sandy. What was the one that hit New Orleans? It was like 40 years to the
Katrina.
Yeah, Katrina.
Yeah, Hurricane Katrina was the huge one.
Right to the day.
Right. Yeah, that was the major one that hit New Orleans, and it was right to the same day that Ida hit. Obviously, not as bad as Katrina, thankfully for the people in New Orleans, but we got hammered here. I was amazed. We were supposed to, like, that day, I remember it was supposed to rain all day. And it was like on and off rain until the evening. I was like, it's nothing. All of a sudden, the skies opened up for hours. It didn't stop. And we had, I sent you guys a picture. I have an underpass by me. So you go down under the trestle and come back up. So it's like a little bowl, basically. And the trestle height is 12 feet 7 inches for trucks to go under. It was to the bottom of the train trestle. So it was almost 13 feet of water.
Unbelievable.
It just got cleared out today. The DEP, the Department of Environmental Protection, just pumping out all the water today.
Now, is that a problem? Because I know it's a problem in Canada with our sewage systems. Do they need to be upgraded? Do they need?
Well, yeah. I mean, everything we have is centuries old, right? It was in the early 1900s. So everything underneath needs to be upgraded. Now, for the most part, we don't get flooding. It works well enough that your regular rainstorms and even some heavy rains, we don't get flooding. It just all goes away. But when we have this massive thing like just happened with Ida and the same thing with Sandy, it just overwhelms the system. And it just builds and builds and builds. And then what happens is it takes, as the floodwaters come, it takes garbage with it. And garbage will get stuck in the sewers. So then the water can't get down the sewers. The pumps can't work because there's garbage stuck in it now. So everything just continues to build. And there was a lot of my neighbors were talking about being flooded in their basement. Luckily here, I just got dampness. So I was lucky.
Cave Crew radio is still intact.
It's still I came downstairs. I came downstairs that evening during the storm, looked, and everything looked fine. I came downstairs the morning after, I looked and everything looked fine. I was like, oh, we're good. Then when I came down a couple hours later, just start working down here. As I got further back to the room, back this way, it started squeaking on the carpet. My sneaker started squeaking on it. I said, what the fuck? And I moved it and it was damp. So I said, oh, okay. I got a little, there was no standing water, no nothing. It was just the carpet was a little damp in just a section back here. Like the rest of it this way was dry. So I got lucky.
Yeah. But the neighbors didn't.
Yeah. A lot of my neighbors had flooding. They were at Home Depot the next morning getting sump pumps and shop vacs to vacuum out all the water. It was a tough night.
And see, it was funny in Detroit earlier this year. I'm going to say June, could have been July, but I'm going to say June. They were getting massively flooded from the rains we were having, and we had a very minimal amount in our basement. But in Canada, here in Ontario, right across the river, we didn't get as much. But they were like having some major, almost like what you're describing, damage. Crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing what can happen if the sewer system gets overwhelmed.
Now, did you see the one video? I can't remember if I saw it on, me. I watch TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. There's one video on one of the New York subways, and you could see this water rushing in down the stairs. Yep. It was almost like Titanic or Earthquake or one of those old disaster movies. And the people were just standing there waiting for their fucking train. Yeah. I'd be running my ass off.
See, what you have to understand here is in the New York City subways, they are very well underground. And even when you just get a regular rainstorm, if it rains heavy enough, water will flow down the stairs. So that's like a normal occurrence here in New York. So there's been videos of water pouring down the stairs, people walking up against it, trying to just, they just got off their train. They're still trying to finish their commute, just ignoring the rushing water rushing past them. It's a normal occurrence for us here in the city.
But there could have been a lot more dead. I mean, what 14 or something like that, which is still too many. But yeah, I was watching and I'm like, what the fuck? Who cares about your train? Run.
This is New York. Nothing phases us.
Holy jeez. Well, hey, if you ever get nuclear bombed by Korea or something, I guess you'll be okay.
Well, literally the last thing that really phased us besides Sandy, which, I mean, they closed the city because everything was completely flooded. Whole neighborhoods were flooded from Sandy, so you couldn't physically get anywhere. Before that was 9/11.
Yeah.
9/11, brought the city to a standstill. But it takes things like that for this city to come to a stop. If it's, even what happened the other day with Ida, if you can move, you're going to go.
Yeah.
That's what happens in this city.
Now, I have two. I mean, you're also used to like a lot of winter storms and stuff like that. I've seen, as much as they, laugh and joke that I'm in Canada, you're right on the shore. So you quite often get worse snow than I do. Mm-hmm. But I do have two questions. Yep. Actually, I only have one. Are you ready to concede? Oh, no, I do have two. I remember my second. See, I'm a little bit off today. It is Friday. Okay. It's been a long week. Are you ready to concede to Greta Thunberg that this is global warming?
No, because hurricanes have nothing to do with global warming.
Nothing.
Hurricanes are a yearly thing that's been around since the dawn of time.
Right.
It has nothing to do with global warming.
So we have confidence that we can still continue.
Yes.
Despite the heat waves and the wildfires and the floods.
Yeah. And by the way, global warming, I never said it wasn't a thing. It is a thing. It's not because we drive cars, though. It's because that's what happens in this planet.
Right.
Global warming, the ambient temperature of the Earth is relative to our distance from the sun, not because we drive a fucking Volvo somewhere.
We don't have to go to electric vehicles after all.
Right. If we're closer to the sun, things are going to warm up.
Yeah.
But if you actually look at the amount of ice in the poles, it's actually thickening. We're not losing ice. It's all a bunch of nonsense.
All right, and also, how are you enjoying the blood sister, let us say, of Hillary as your governor?
Oh, it's just everybody was excited. Cuomo's gone. We're gonna have Hochul. I don't know how to fuck say her name. Let's see what she can do. My response to all of them was, she's a Democrat. She was in Cuomo's inner circle. What do you think she's going to do? She's going to do the same shit that Cuomo did and probably worse. No, I'm not excited that fucking stupid bitch is in office. I'm glad Cuomo's gone because he was a piece of shit. But Hochul, whatever the fuck her name is, isn't any better.
No better. Nothing.
No.
The state of New York might as well stand in a mirror and yell Candyman 5 times.
What's the saying? New boss, same as the old boss.
Yeah.
It's the same shit.
An old Who song.
Right. Wasn't that the Rolling Stones? I thought it was.
Oh, I thought it was the Who. Oh, it might be the Rolling Stones.
Yeah,
by the way, it was not Keith Richards that died. It was
Charlie Watts.
Drummer.
Charlie Watts. Yeah. Keith Richards will live forever.
He will. And Betty White, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, 99 years old today. Happy birthday to Betty White. If you had her on our annual death drop, both her and the Queen are still standing. And
they will forever.
And I believe Neil Diamond is as well. I'm not biting too well this year.
Well, the only one that got one right was fucking Jason.
Oh,
said, what's his name?
Fucking locked out.
What's his name that died?
Prince Philip.
Prince Philip, yes.
Yeah. Speaking of Jason and Amanda, we have recently survived Choo Choo Mania 2. 4 years in the making. I'm getting excellent feedback from people who have listened on podcasts and have watched. Might not have been as dramatic as the first one, but it went right down to the wire again. And I thought it was a fantastic event.
And it was controversy free.
Yes. Other than Jason didn't have whiskey and Amanda refused to do a prank call.
Right. But we had a definitive winner. There was no question that Amanda won.
But we've kind of gone, cancel culture as well, because in the old day, we'd say, fuck you, you're making a prank call. Or fuck you, you don't have whiskey. We'll wait. Go get
Right. I thought, and that's thinking back to things we used to do.
Magnet fishing, for fuck's sakes.
No, I thought you were going to force Amanda to do a prank call.
I can't do that to Amanda. She's such a lovely lady, and she's so good with us on the show. And
she is, but I thought you were going to force her into it because that was the final deciding event.
I guess I have a weak spot. She's done so much for us, and she comes on the show and she helps us. And now Jason, on the other hand, I like to rake him through the coals. A little shot of whiskey, put some hair on your chest, kid.
Yes, that was disappointing that he did not have any alcohol by him whatsoever.
Well, he was going magnet fishing. Which, by the way, if you needed an explanation of that, I did gain some clarity. Apparently, instead of a lure, you have a magnet on the end of your fishing rod.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're going to a ditch or a river or wherever you're going. And according to Amanda, they caught a couple nuts and bolts. It sounded like a real fun, romantic evening to me.
See, isn't that the same game that my little one plays with the little plastic pole with the magnet on the end, and he gets the fish and pulls it out and says, "Yay, look, Dad, I got a red one."
Yeah, probably.
It's the same thing.
It probably is. But it was a great show, and it was a lot of fun. We now, speaking of that, we put a poll out this week and threw out a couple options. And we said, would you like to see a rematch of Jason and Amanda? I added, would you like to see DK and Big B? Although I have no idea who would coordinate it, but I threw it out there. And then I said, would you like to see a match of the two champions, Choo Choo Stew or Afka, whatever we call them now, versus Amanda? And by a landslide, the only one voted for us was Choo Choo Stew. Of course, he dreads doing it again. And we'd have to probably really coerce him to do so. But the fans, me alike, I think a Choo Choo Stew Amanda battle late next year sometime.
I think I think we need to have Choo Choo Mania 3 Battle of the Champions.
Yeah. But what a blow to Jason Scott's ego. Not one person, even himself,
wanted the rematch.
Did not want to see Jason Scott and Amanda too.
I thought it was a wonderful event. It was a hard fought event. Jason made a great comeback after Amanda took a commanding 2-0 lead, and Jason made a good comeback.
Off there at the end, but she came back, right?
She did. And in the final round of Pyramid, she pulled it off.
Terry Duckworth. That's a great name. Terry Duckworth says, get Choo Choo Stu and Amanda.
We are with you, Terry. Choo Choo Stu and Amanda for Choo Choo Mania 3.
Yeah, we agree 100%. And I mean, it's got to be settled. It was an innovative event in the first place. Mm-hmm. And why do I feel Terry Duckworth is short side?
No.
And no offense to you, Terry Duckworth. I apologize.
Short side always comes on as short side. He'd be messaging me right now if that was him.
All right. Anyway, yeah, that was the inaugural. It was good. It was big. And then a couple, which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we did not split Jason and Amanda up. They're not listening live. They'll probably download later because they are on the way to a romantic getaway in Niagara Falls.
Ooh.
What I'm curious of is do you think Jason brought his magnet fishing equipment?
to fish by the falls. Why not?
Stick it over the falls. You might get part of a barrel,
With the amount of tourists that come there, I'm sure there's like millions of dollars worth of dropped crap every year.
It's like hitting the jackpot, or like you get down there and maybe one of the flying Walendas fell off when they were trying to do it on a tightrope. And if they had like nickel in their teeth, you'd like drag up a flying Walenda.
A flying Walenda filling.
Yeah.
Is that what you're looking for?
You write that down. I can't even pronounce it again. No, but the honeymoon capital of the world, and I got to get Jason Scott to schedule my next vacation day. He has and I don't think it has anything to do with weather, by the way. He has a indoor event day and an outdoor event day. I don't know if you noticed that in chat.
I did. Can I, something you just said triggered something. You said it's the honeymoon capital of the world. Now, I know when you go up to Niagara Falls, you can go on the boat that, goes around the falls.
Made of the Mist. And
Made of the Mist, right.
I don't know what they call it. The Horatio Hornblower or something like
whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you can get married on that.
I didn't know that.
Yes, you can. Do you think that you said it's the honeymoon capital of the world? They have an indoor event and an outdoor event to go to this weekend.
No, not one event. What I'm trying to tell you is he's got an indoor day.
Right, that's what I meant. An indoor day and an outdoor day.
Yeah. Don't you think if you're out in the sun for a long while, you might want to cool off? Like, you might want to split it.
But let's just think about this for a second. If they are going to secretly go get hitched, that's their indoor day. And then they celebrate afterwards on their outdoor day.
Or if on their outdoor day, they got married on the Maid of the Mist.
That's right.
And it was directly on the border of the United States and Canada, would they be dual citizens? No. Okay.
But
what if they did it on the? So yeah, that's a good question. Before we move on with all these announcements and stuff. So yeah, as a Canadian, I get married in Las Vegas. Does nothing to my citizenship.
No, absolutely nothing.
But the marriage is valid.
I should be.
I know people that have gone to Jamaica and in Las Vegas and got married, and as long as it's, I guess, by a justice of the peace or a witch doctor or wherever you are, it's considered a valid marriage.
Right. As long as you get your marriage certificate in the country that you reside in.
What if the child was conceived on the other side of the border?
Conceived, no. Born, yes.
Yeah, born for sure. But
yeah, conceived, no, because you can't prove conception.
What if you could challenge that?
You can't prove it when it actually happened.
Well, you got one of those sticks that you pee on.
Right, no, but what I'm saying is you can't prove a date that it happened. So if you're here for a week and you say you think you conceived when you're here for a week, you could have conceived the week before while you were still at home or the week after you got back. You can't prove a date of conception. You can prove a time frame, obviously, but you can't prove an exact date.
Well, wait a minute. So let's say like old man Reggie is down south for the winter.
Mm.
So it's like a 4 to 5 month time span.
Right.
And he bangs Lucy, and Reggie and Lucy have a kid, and they come back to Canada, and it's born in Canada. It's where the child is born, is what you're saying.
Yes, it's where the child is born. Yes.
Doesn't matter where it's conceived.
Does not matter.
Even if it was, even if Lucy snuck out and went with Roberto the pool boy, and there was a DNA test, and Roberto the pool boy was actually, a refugee from Colombia or something, what would happen then? Would it be Colombian, American, or Canadian, or dual?
It would be Canadian if he was born in Canada.
Yeah, but if the father was Colombian,
doesn't matter.
But
that's not citizenship. That's your heritage. That's not citizenship.
Let me give you an example.
Wait. No, let's go back, because we've done my 23andMe. We know I'm like 18 different nationalities. Does that mean I have 18 different citizenships? No, I'm a U.S. citizen.
I have a valid point here, and I'm not being silly. My own wife, Isbia, her father was from Michigan.
Yeah.
Her mother was from Ontario.
Yeah.
They consummated. He lived here for quite some time before going back to the States, but he never gave up his American citizenship.
Yeah.
My wife has a social security number.
Where was she born?
She was born in Windsor in Canada.
So then her father, when he went back to the United States, applied for a social security card. You can have a social security card and not be a citizen.
Like
just so you know.
We've inherited some land over in Michigan. And I was at her for the longest time. I've got a good job now, and I'm okay, and she's doing well, and I still hate the fucking winter. But I'm like, you got this fucking card. Let's go to fucking Hawaii or something. You're fucking crazy. You
social security
got the
card.
pot of gold.
A social security card is not citizenship.
Huh?
A social security card is not citizenship.
No, but it allows you to work over there.
It does allow you to work over there.
And if I stay long enough, you're going to invite me.
Well, yeah, you would have to get a visa. You would have to get a work visa.
Well, fuck, I'll stay at home and raise the kids. But anyway, it never happened. We're still here. But she still has one in her wallet. Next time she's on, if she comes back this year, I'll have her bring her. She can
By the way, I would love to have her back on. She was great when the short period of time that I was on with her doing Believe It or What. I would love to have her back on for me to be on a full show.
We're still married, ladies and gentlemen, but I am after her. One of our puppies passed away last Halloween. And Ziggy is alone. And Ziggy has been with Jake because Jake has been homeschooling through the fucking lockdown. Well, now Jake's going back to school for his senior year. We're at work all day. The dog whines when we go outside to take the garbage. I'm after her to get a second job or a dog. Won't do it. Last night I slipped and I said, they've asked me to coach hockey in a different association than my shirt, which I was with for 12 years. Jake heard it and he said, Coach what? And I said, team in Tecumseh. They called me. A travel team? Yeah. I want to do it. Well, I don't want you guys to do it. I don't know why. We're going to have a family meeting. I think it's good for the kid. I do enjoy it. I'm torn, but she's adamant of no more coaching hockey in this household. So I will keep you updated on that. And maybe we can have Isadora on like a political debate to talk about this.
I will mediate.
We also have an election in my country. Trudeau called an election in a 2-month span. He could have waited 2 years. And it's believed we are going to have a massive conservative flip.
Because everybody's tired of fucking Trudeau and his bullshit. Now, why did he initiate an election?
Who knows in his egotistical mind? He thinks he's doing a great job. But the guy that's running for the Conservatives, he's an ex-military member. He performed in the French debate last night, did amazing. They didn't think he could speak French. He did good. There's Jigmeet Hing or whatever his name is, the turban guy for the Socialist Party. But we may just on September 20th see a big blue flip, which maybe you can look forward to in your next election.
Wait, so conservatives are blue up there?
Yeah, blue is conservative, red is liberal.
We have the other way around.
Yeah, so liberal is Democrat,
right?
And conservative is conservative. And the cool thing about this guy is he gets a lot of flack from his own party because he's got a little bit of liberal point of view. So his own caucus is a little bit. So that's a good selling point, I think.
That means he's more down the middle of things.
Yeah.
He can see things from both sides and figure out what's best instead of going blindly towards one side.
But they had a chart. I don't know if they've ever done this for like your governments and stuff. They had a chart out today. I should have saved it. Trudeau has spent more money. He's borrowing $424 million a day. Where from? U.S., China, I have no idea. He has spent more money than all the prime ministers combined.
Yeah, they actually did that with Obama when his stupid ass was president. Whatever his budget was, he spent more money or contributed more to the deficit than all other presidents combined before him.
Right. People have to realize sometimes the shiny rainbow unicorn promises sound really good, but China is going to own our country, I guess. I have no idea what's becoming of this. I'm not on the inside, but
nothing is free, ladies and gentlemen. That's what the liberals love to throw around, that word free. Nothing is free. It has to be paid for from somewhere. And where does it get paid from? Your taxes.
Right. And the prices of goods.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That is why
groceries lately, but they're nowhere near they were a year and a half ago, and it's not just COVID.
That's why in this country, because of Biden's horrific decision making, food is up, gas is up, lumber is up, any type of anything the middle class needs, the prices are skyrocketing because he needs to pay for his ridiculous human infrastructure plan, which just means more fucking, he's growing the government. That's all that means. So yes, free does not mean free. They love to throw that word around because, liberal fucking mouth breathers like, oh, we're going to get free healthcare. You're not.
Yeah.
You're going to pay for
The
it.
guy that's the other side, even worse, of Trudeau, he came to my town and did a big speech and said, I'm going to lower your cell phone and your cable bills. Excellent.
What a selling point.
I can't wait to have a lower cell phone bill while I pay 20% more income tax.
Yep.
Fucking morons.
Exactly
But people have selective hearing, Big B. They hear what they want to hear. And I always tell people, like, I have this one buddy, and he's in our group, Kevin, the redhead guy, chimes in once in a while. And we're going to get this, and we're going to get better health care. It's got to be paid for by somebody at some point.
Yep. It's never, ever free.
We're going to have universal guaranteed income of $5,000 a month. And none of us are going to work.
Right. Yeah. And your taxes will go up to cover that and more. So you're going to get $5,000, but you're going to get taxed $7,500.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
It just don't make sense.
Right. I was talking to somebody, I don't know, last year or 2 years ago, whenever it was, about how Finland, I think it was one of the Nordic countries, or Denmark, maybe.
I think it was Denmark.
Yeah, it was Denmark.
The most desired place to live in the world.
Oh, they give the college is free, the health care is free, all this is free, all this is free. I went back to them. I said, yeah, do you know what their tax rate is? At that point, it was 55%.
Yeah,
meaning,
you never own anything.
Meaning, when you go to work and you earn $10, 55% of that goes to the government. So you earn $10, the government takes $5.50. You are left with $4.50 in your pocket.
And that $4 probably goes about as far as $1 goes somewhere else.
Correct, because inflation, because that's what liberals do, is inflation, which is what happens in socialist countries. Hyperinflation happens where their money becomes worthless.
Yeah. I wonder about that all the time. Anyway, let's get on. We've got some good stories tonight, and I can rush through these announcements. These are not.
I have to get another beer. I don't want to rush through the announcements because I've been hearing about these fucking announcements for 2 weeks now.
Well, 3 of them are not that big, but
I gotta get a beer.
One of them's kind of cool.
So yes, I've been hearing major announcements for 2 weeks.
Actually, so the first one, which we might as well play before we forget and get too far into things, and then I'll get into the other ones when we return. We do have Mike Jolitz joining us again this year. Mike Jolitz, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is on a Facebook hiatus. He has canceled Facebook, but you can still reach him on Messenger.
I did see that, and he does this every so often. He takes a break from Facebook and then comes back.
It's like an Arizona Lent. But anyway, so let's get this one out of the way, and you can enjoy a little bit of your beer. Mike Jolitz reads the news. He's been with us off and on for a few years, but he's committed. He's like, I believe in Cave Crew Radio, and I'm going to stick with you. So let's see what Mike has to say this week.
Hello, Cave Crew Radio. Hello, DK. Hello, Sir Big B. And hello, AFCA, if you're there. Hey. All right. Alrighty, guys.
Hey.
Hope you are all well. I'm doing pretty good. It's Friday, so yeah. Alrighty, guys. You're not here to listen to me blather. You're here for the news. So here we go with the news. Ugas defeated Manny Pacquiao to retain the welterweight championship. Ugas beat the legend. Now the legend can retire. Ugas. I just like saying that. Comedian Stephen Grew is back on Facebook after a month-long jail sentence. It was his 125th time in jail. Meanwhile, I'm on a month-long self-imposed sabbatical from Facebook. A man at San Mateo has a flag on his patio with a Weber grill on it. Every morning with the spatula over his heart, he pledges allegiance to his charcoal grill. America! Actor Ed Asner died last week. He was in the movie Up and a bunch of other stuff. In baseball news, the Milwaukee Brewers have the third best record in the National League. The Yankees are third best in the American League. And the Diamondbacks have the second worst record in all of baseball. Mike Richards, who is set to replace Alex Trebek on Jeopardy, resigned. Now he lost his gig as executive producer on both Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. Ouch. Bummer. Kiss canceled their last 4 dates on the forever long end of the road tour. Gene and Paul got the COVID. The rock world lost a legend last week. Drummer Charlie Watts of the Rolling Stones, he died. He was 80. Sad. The New York City jail that housed John Gotti, Joaquin El Gordo Guzman, and where Jeffrey Epstein was suicided, it's going to close. No, I guess case closed. Coca-Cola now has 15 packs available. The packaging says 3 more cans than a 12-pack. Really? Well, look at that. 12 plus 3 is 15. Oh, wow. That's also 25% more Coke fun. The new study suggests that eating just 1 hot dog takes 36 minutes off your life. Shit. Along with the time I lost to smoking, I probably only have like a month left to live. And finally, in the news, a 25-year-old man who put epoxy on his junk instead of a condom over it to prevent pregnancy has died. You could have tried anal, dude. There's an additional warning I didn't see coming. Do not epoxy your penis. All right, guys. It is now time for the tidbits. Just got a few. Yeah. The Arizona Cardinals don't have a losing record yet. Oh, yeah. The Cowboys don't suck either. Oh, yeah. The Patriots kicked Cam Newton to the curb. Yeah, shock. And finally, in the tidbits, the Minnesota Vikings are not going to keep score this year. Or they're not going to score. I don't know, whichever. Yeah. All right, guys. It is now time for the weather. Starting off in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Highs on Saturday of 79 degrees, Sunday 81, and Monday back to 79. Looks like a partly sunny and just a little bit cloudy weekend, but good weekend overall. Heading over to Queens, New York. Saturday has a high of 79 degrees. Sunday is going to be 75, and Monday, for now anyway, is going to be high of 82. Yeah, no rain in sight. Boom. Heading over to London, where Afka lives. On Saturday, it's going to be high 68. Sunday, 73. Monday, 77 degrees. No rain in sight also as well. So good weather for everyone. And finally, in the weather out here in Surprise, Arizona. Super easy. It's going to be 102 degrees Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It's going to be 100 for a long time. That's why I live here. Alrighty, guys. Well, that does it for the Mike Jolitz Reads the News. If you guys want to get me on the Twitter, it is at Mike Jolitz. If you want to email me, it's mikejolitz@gmail.com. Or if you want to call, leave a voicemail. No one does. The number 701-484-3657. Thanks for listening, everybody. Back to you, Cave Crew Radio.
The one and only. We are so honored to have him. He has his own podcast, but he chooses to join us most weeks here at Cave Crew Radio, unless he takes a month sabbatical.
I love the Mike Jolitz News. I want to find out more about the guy who pledges allegiance to his grill every morning.
Yeah, we're gonna have to research that, and the one about the crazy glue, that's on top for next week.
I did see that story.
That's next.
There's a reason why there are warnings on every product you own because someone tried it previously. No matter what it is.
I did not know he passed, though. So
I didn't know that either.
Stay tuned. We'll break it down a little more. But, if you're in a hurry, folks, Mike Jolitz, he'll give it to you quick and fast. All right. And by the way, I think by next week, you should be prepared to report on the manure pits.
I am prepared to report now.
Well, let's see if we have time, and we'll get to it. But announcement number 2. Again, some of these announcements are not overly dramatic. They are more continuations of things we have done in the past. But somehow, some way, ladies and gentlemen, this year we are going to be pleased. I got to refresh. Hang on. I knew it was going to happen.
He's going to disappear, and then he's going to come back. He is right there.
I'm here. I never went anywhere. And you can still hear me. Let's see if this works. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the Big B, Believe It or What Open Challenge. For those of you that have been listening through the whole thing, Big B has been very successful against experts at any topic that comes up. So I don't know if we're going to have people challenge you. What I'm envisioning is that we have, maybe 8 people compete like a March Madness.
Right.
And then the winner will face you, but we have to see if we can get 8 people.
I like that idea.
To square off in season 8, ladies and gentlemen. What is old becomes new.
I like that idea. I think I've proven myself in Believe It or What with general knowledge, music, My Little Pony, 50 Shades of Grey. I've proven myself in all different realms of trivia knowledge.
What else? You did the boats.
I did the boats. I won the boats. So I have proven myself. I am the champion of Believe It or What. So I think this is a great way to advance the segment and have a NCAA tournament style bracket. If you have 8 people, you break it down, and the winner of that tournament faces off against me.
So if you're listening or watching, cavecrewradio@gmail.com, send us a message. I want in. Other than that, we'll post it on our social media. We'll try to get 8 people. If you've been on the show before, you can do it again. Isbia, Jason Scott, Amanda, who's ever challenged, Afka, you can still re-enter.
Eric the Swede, but you're going to, this could be like the all-star edition of Believe It or What, and one person, and we will pick, how random we can be in this trivia, and one person will square off to face Big B later on in the year. So that was my other announcement. Mm-hmm.
Then another extremely popular segment that just could go on forever and ever and ever, and causes us great conversation. We will have the return of
Draw Near, Cave Dwellers.
Ooh.
Deep in the corner of the cave, covered in dust and memories, lies a book. A book filled with legends and stories that is passed from generation to generation. Some have witnessed the wonders. For some, it lives only in imagination and lore. This is known as the mysterious chronicles of the most interesting man in the world. Listen closely. This is the book of Choo Choo Stew.
course, always a favorite. Intermittently throughout the year, the Book of Choo Choo Stew will return. And you and I love that because we lived through it.
That's right. I was just going to say, it brings back great memories for us. And we pick out things like I remember listening to a couple of episodes and picking out things I didn't realize at the time.
Right.
So you learn, we even learned something new.
Right. And for those of you that don't have, which by the way, because I know you keep track of these things, it kind of ties into the Choo Choo Stew. You don't have time to go back 291 episodes tonight, I believe, Big B. You want to be 300. We're running out of time.
We're creeping up on 300. We got to get cracking on what we're going to do for historic episode 300.
Yeah, I had so much stress doing this show. So much stress. But here, I think, is my most fun announcement.
Oh, boy. Oh, wait. Oh, so we have more announcements.
Oh, we do. Okay.
No.
I thought you had one. No, I have the big announcement. Well, maybe it'll be a fizz out. Maybe it won't. Mm-hmm. But last season, speaking of Choo Choo Stew, it started out, it was Big B and I. And Choo Choo Stew sent us emails and then started recording for us, and eventually became let's just say, an epicenter of the show.
Right.
A very popular member. He called himself the junior intern, but he was very popular, and he was with us for a large portion of the 8 seasons.
Absolutely.
So things happen in a very strange way. I was searching for some new graphics for the show because we were starting a new season, and a gentleman came forth and offered to do a sum, which both you and I approved of, and we're using them here tonight. Show it up here again real quick. There it is, the Cave Crew Radio Season 8 graphics. Maybe it will be a t-shirt at some point. So this gentleman, though, when he did the graphics, he researched the show and listened and watched, and that's where he came up with the cave in the background and all of this. And he says, you guys seem like you're having a lot of fun. I'd really like to come along one day and join you. And as we are a global show,
right?
I was quite enticed by this, and I don't know how far this will be. I can't promise another Choo Choo Stew. I don't know if they will be recorded segments or if this person will join us. But we have now stretched even further than the United Kingdom, Big B.
Ooh, interesting.
I have a little promo.
Okay.
Gentlemen. But let me also bring this up because we always have a graphic. AJ the Aussie.
Okay, then.
Also known as the social distancing guy. Just a little teaser for you here, guys.
G'day, mate. This is the social distancing guy, AJ the Aussie, and I'm riding me kangaroo to Cave Crew Radio for Season 8.
There you go, baby. That was my major spoiler announcement.
Look at that. Look at our reach. Never mind the find of this guy. Look at our reach.
Yeah.
Heading all the way to the other side of the world in Australia.
We thought England flattered us at the time.
England was huge at the time.
We're on the outer banks of Stinchlandia with this one.
Ooh.
And again, it was a stumble upon thing. I can do graphics. All right. Here's a couple of cartoons of the hosts. I like blue and black for this year. Or actually, I said red and black. And he said, I listened to your show and yada, yada, yada. And this is what I came up with. And by the way, I'm a big fan. And I don't know if you realized what happened last time we had a big fan. I don't know what that means.
Maybe he's trying to say good grab. I don't know who Facebook user is.
Yeah, it could be anybody. Good GRGB.
I think it's supposed to be GRAB. Good grab.
Oh, good grab. Okay. It is going to be a very good grab. Facebook user. AJ the Aussie. I don't have a timeline. I don't know if it's going to be emails sent to us. I don't know if we're going to do the same kind of, gentle introduction or not. But I'm talking to AJ. I'm going to send the Facebook link over to Big B so they can become friends as well. Your friend from Pa.
Is that Scotty the producer?
Oh, Scotty the producer sitting on a bridge in the rain.
With 900 cats in his kitchen.
Yeah, the school of hard knocks. There's nothing to feel positive about. I enjoy being negative.
Well, let's go back to the previous announcement from AJ the Aussie. The open call for Believe It or What. Scotty the producer is the self-proclaimed trivia champion. Would he be involved in this?
I don't know. Have you ever listened to his podcast? He can't seem to get an internet signal. Maybe if he invested in some equipment, he'd join us on the Ultimate Trivia Challenge of Big B's Believe It or What Open Challenge.
Open Challenge. Scotty the producer, if you're just joining us, we're going to have an NCAA style tournament. The winner faces off against me for Believe It or What later on this year. So if you are interested, please drop DK a line and let him know.
We're not speaking to each other because I was sending him words of encouragement and he called me negative. Cancel culture. Liberals.
We don't like liberals.
Anyway, AJ the Aussie may be a contestant. I just don't know what time would it be right now in Australia? It might even be breakfast for him if he came live.
It is 9 o'clock here. I think it's 14 hours, so 9, 10. It's probably 11 a.m. over there.
So that may work better. He might be able to crack a beer by the first break.
Very, very possible. I don't know what his Saturday, because this would be obviously his Saturday.
Yeah.
His Saturday morning. I don't know what his Saturday morning looks like, but I believe it's a 14-hour difference.
All right. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. AJ the Aussie. All right, that's the end of my announcements. That's all I got. I thought you'd be excited about that. I can't promise it's going to work out the same as the last one, because if it does, we'll be 70 doing this show, and then we can have the book of AJ and do it while we're in old age homes.
There you go. It just keeps going. What's old is what's new again. Isn't that what you just said earlier?
I would be willing if you're okay with that. He just fucking challenged you, you fucking insignificant moron. How insecure are you? Get some balls and grab life by the horns. Everything is going to be okay.
Wow.
It ain't that bad out there. We're all living in a pandemic, and we've all gone through some tough times. You want to play Believe It or What? Play Believe It or What? CaveCrewRadio@gmail.com. Put your name in. I ain't here to change your fucking diapers.
Wow.
Well, for fuck's sakes, you just gave him an invitation. He's like,
I think that was that question was directed mainly to you because apparently there is, as you mentioned, there is some
animosity. You try to you email me and I'll send you the fucking details.
Email Scotty. Email
Japanese right now. What's that language? Humala said.
Email.
Get your head out of your ass. I was trying to encourage you and be positive. You told me you like being miserable and you like living under a fucking bridge under a cardboard box. Get your life together. Play some Believe It or What. We love you. It's the only reason I took time out of my day to be positive with you.
Email caveforradio@gmail.com.
Also, while we got you here, we're having such a fun time. We're going to be doing a Double Talk Radio reunion show. Would you like to join? All right, it's time. Let's we got some good stories this week.
Oh, I gotta pull them up.
All right, but I gotta play the thing anyway. Hang on, and I gotta bring up your special thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we always do the best of the weird news from around the world, despite how good Mike Jolas makes us look.
Hey, good evening. And now the rest of the story. It's time for this week's weird news. Now over to the CCR news desk with senior correspondent Big B.
And the weird news. We've always got a lot of great stories, and I think I remember the order. Let's bring up
the first one.
First story from Big B. Now I can stop talking for 10 minutes.
There you go.
With whom do you think? The former host of Double Talk Radio. I feel like I should have been a kindergarten teacher.
Wow.
I'm doing a reunion of Double Talk Radio with the former host of Bewitched. Anyway, sorry, Big B.
No problem. First story of the night from Euro News. The headline reads, "Don't urinate towards Russia." The sign appears on the border with Norway. A homemade sign at a popular tourist spot in northeast Norway has urged people not to urinate in the direction of Russia. Written in English, the new sign orders people no peeing towards Russia, or they will face a hefty fine.
Okay, this is a reliable news source, right?
Euro News. Somebody I know living in Europe posted this, so yes, I would assume
this is real.
Yes, this is real.
Okay.
This is somebody that lives in Sweden, I believe, posted this. The notice was placed on the banks of the CCR River that separates Norway and Russia, next to an official sign informing that the area is under video surveillance by Norwegian border guards. Norwegian Border Commissioner Jens Arne has confirmed the reports that a sign has appeared near the village of Grängesjärv. The sign was probably put there by well-meaning people to warn people passing through against offensive behavior. Fucking pop-ups. Hold on.
How many countries are in the way between Norway and Russia?
I have no idea. Norway, well, there's a whole body of water separated.
There's Liechtenstein, there's Switzerland, there's
right. But nobody, don't pee towards Russia. Under Norwegian law, it is illegal to commit offensive behavior at the border directed at the neighboring state or its authorities. The potential fine is 3,000 kroner, which comes out to 290 euros, which is like,
that's about $500.
Well, no, 290 euros. That's like, $50 or whatever it is.
Oh, I thought euro. Oh, I'm thinking pounds. Okay. Yeah.
urinating in nature is not necessarily offensive, but it depends on the point of view. Here it falls under the law prohibiting offensive behavior at the border. The commissioner added that Russian authorities had never complained about anything that the sign warned against. Norwegian media have previously reported incidents where citizens have been fined or stopped by border guards for illegally crossing the 198-kilometer border or throwing stones across the river towards Russia. It may seem harsh, but we enforce the border regulations without fail.
So is it also illegal to shit towards Finland?
You would have to go in the opposite direction to figure out what's on the border between Norway and Finland.
Well, I would think it's Norway is Finland, Denmark, Sweden, and then.
Well, actually, I'm looking at the picture. I didn't know the geographics. It's Norway. Then, as you're looking at it on a map, to the east of it is Sweden. To the east of that is Finland, and then to the east of that is Russia. Now, Norway kind of hooks
right
above Sweden and Finland and kind of points to Russia.
This is when we could use Choo Choo Stew because his wife was from Finland.
Yes.
I wonder if that goes both ways or if it's just Norway going, we're the nice people, don't blow your nose and throw a Kleenex into Finland or whatever over to Sweden. I
don't know. Again, these are stories that don't provide us all the necessary information.
But it allows our imaginations to run wild. I wonder if one of the original Norwegian realized that when he peed towards Russia, he was actually peeing in the wind and it blew back to him.
Oh, but he may have thought it was raining.
Right.
I don't know.
Or, Russia is a very big military power, and you're being a little bit oversensitive. I know they've got drones and cameras and cybersecurity just about everywhere, but I'm pretty sure if you had to urinate and it landed on the wrong side of the border, I don't think they'd declare war on Norway. They haven't yet, anyway.
Right, but could it be considered an act of aggression if one of your drunk fucking friends or hanging out at the border and had to pee because they got to break the seal and just happens to pee towards Russia and Russian guards on the other side of the border see this? Could this be considered an act of aggression?
Act of aggression. Like over here, we shoot the finger. It's very bad to use the C word against women. They get very offended, as I've learned through the years. Maybe the act of urinating is a very powerful force for the Norwegians.
I don't know. This is apparently an issue. It seems that the Norwegian government didn't put the sign there, but local residents did. And maybe they know better because they live right on the border. They understand the back and forth, the give and take that has to happen between the borders. I don't know. Maybe this is a real thing.
It was like there was once a Hatfield and McCoy, except it was a and
it was a
yeah. And he peed into his turf.
So this could be going back 200 years.
Exactly. This is worse than a tree branch crossing your property line in the United States.
Would this be the equivalent of the lawn war between you and your neighbor?
I think, you know what? And he's Serbian. So this could be the same battle that and I've never looked at it from that point of view, and maybe I should be a little more sympathetic, which, by the way, he cut my lawn today. But anyway, but you're right. Like, but I'm just wondering, like, did the wind just pick up a little bit of the PP and it, hit Vasubala in the head, or
it very well could have, and that set off a 200-year standoff.
Where now the people are saying, let's not make the same mistake our ancestors made.
Right.
Could you just, if you got to pee, you said they were to the east, so could you please turn to the west?
Right. Or turn to the south.
Yes, and do your business that way, and everything will be okay, and no one will have an issue.
Go to the north and point it towards Antarctica or the Arctic Circle. The Arctic Circle.
I have a question.
Yes.
So if that person turns to the west, urinates away from Russia back into the homeland of Norway.
Well, they would be, if you're going to the west, that would be towards Finland.
But they're on the border, so you obviously can't pee that far. What if they pass wind and the foul smell reaches into Mother Russia?
Well, then it depends on where the government stands at that given point in time. Are they in the midst of another crisis where they have to focus on and they could let the flatulence go? Or is it a slow government month and the flatulence cause an international incident?
Right. And Norwegians are just no longer able to pee.
They are no longer to release any bodily fluid at the border of
near the border
Norway and Russia.
Right. Go into central Norway if you need any sort of a movement.
It's like you know how you're driving on a highway and you're going on a long distance and there's a gas station and they say next gas 300 miles.
Yeah.
So you got to stop off there. So that's what would have to happen. There would be a bathroom sitting a distance away from the border, and last chance to use the bathroom, last chance to pee and shit.
Right. Before you get to the Norwegian-Russia border.
Right. Any bodily releases after this point is illegal and subject to fine and arrest.
Right. So anyone who does not relieve themselves beyond this point, you are subject to become a war criminal.
If you have to release after that point, yes.
Right. So no more coffee stops. Don't eat any food. It's like the dry run. It's like intermittent fasting.
That's right.
Between Norway and Russia.
You get to a certain point in Norway, all food and beverage imbibing stops.
I like it. See, we always figure out these stories for you, ladies and gentlemen.
This is how to make things better in life.
Right.
Come to us. We know.
All right. So next. We got a few more here we got to get to. Yeah, this one was kind of weird. And then I've got something to add to it once you read the story.
Okay. From The Guardian, the very liberal left-wing ultra, I hate the fucking Guardian. But headline reads, COVID, Arkansas jail dosing inmates with ivermectin. In spite of FDA warnings.
Or whatever the fuck it's called.
I think it's ivermectin.
Ivermectin, sure.
Ivermectin.
Sure.
Ivermectin.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
new thing on Cave Crew Radio. If we can't pronounce something, it's just going to
it's going to wind up being inmates at
in our own language.
It's Cave Crewanese.
Yes, I love it. It's better than Pig Latin.
It is much better than Pig Latin. Inmates at a Northwest Arkansas jail have been prescribed a medicine for treating coronavirus that is normally used to deworm livestock. despite federal health warnings to the public in exasperated tones.
In exasperated tones.
Exasperated tones. Washington County Sheriff confirmed this week that the jail's health provider has been prescribing the drug. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the federal drugs regulator, issued a warning via Twitter last weekend. Now you know it's real if the FDA is issuing warnings on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, if you want to get a hold of people quick, you know who you're going to get attention from is Cave Crew Radio.
Right.
If you want to get a hold of the general public, Twitter is the way to go.
Right. I take all my medical advice from Twitter posts.
Right. Not one of those. What do they do when a child's missing? The
Amber Alert.
When they start going off at 3 o'clock in the morning and it's 1,200 miles away. I'm not trying to be insensitive here, folks, but when you're working a full-time job and you're trying to get a good night's sleep. So why didn't they send an Amber Alert out to the fucking inmates?
You know what? Why don't you publish it in a medical journal that goes out, nationwide so we can all read this? Not on fucking Twitter where fucking what's her name? The fucking OJ Simpson bitch, whatever, Kim Kardashian, posts her fucking ass on there.
The OJ Simpson bitch,
because her father was the lawyer.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay. Hey, but by the way, it goes to show you, obviously, this newspaper hangs on Twitter for its.
It's the Guardian. It's left-wing nonsense.
Yeah, I like the Guardian. They do a lot of fun.
Full of shit. Anyway, the Twitter post read, "You are not a horse." I'm writing that down. Hold on. Give me a second, please.
I got it. I thought I had the show nailed, but that might have fucking kicked me right in the balls. I just took that one in the
you are not a horse. You are not a cow. Seriously, stop it. This is from the FDA, ladies and gentlemen. They said, you are not a horse, you are not a cow. Seriously, stop it. Not in a medical journal with background information and side effects. No, they took to Twitter and said, you are not a horse and you are not a cow. Stop.
You realize on Twitter, you only have 142 characters, though. You got to get your message across, and you got to grab their attention.
Okay, in 142 characters, you can do better than you're not a horse, you're not a cow. Sheriff Tim Helder did not say how many inmates at the 710-bed facility had been given ivermectin and defended the health provider that has been prescribing the medication. Whatever a doctor prescribes, that is not in my ballywick.
What is that again? Not in my ballywick?
Whatever the doctor prescribes, that is not in my ballywick. Ballywick is spelled BAILIWICK.
It took 3/4 of the show and one story to get 3 nominations for a show name, ladies and gentlemen.
Helder told members of the Washington County Quorum Court, the county's governing body, that this is not my ballywick. Helder did not immediately respond to a call from the Associated Press. Why is there an ad in the middle of this fucking thing? I can't read it.
Oh, they do it. See, that's why I print the shit.
No, I got to start doing that. I don't, for whatever reason. It's not clear what information inmates who were prescribed the drug have been given about it, including warnings that it is not approved to treat COVID. The U.S. FDA, the same people that took to Twitter and said you're not a cow and you're not a horse, has approved ivermectin in both people and animals for some parasitic worms and for head lice and skin conditions.
Right. And that's what COVID is.
Head lice and skin conditions?
And parasitic lice.
Right. The FDA has not approved its use in treating or preventing COVID-19 in humans.
Now, can I add to this very quickly?
Yes.
After I sent you that story, Joe Rogan, probably the biggest podcaster of them all. Like, we get excited. Oh, we got 1,000 views and 700 downloads. Guy gets millions of them.
Right.
Gets COVID. Guess what he takes?
Ivermectin.
Exactly. The fucking moron.
Joe Rogan, you are not a horse and you are not a cow.
And I got you're not a horse from when I had your ex-wife on the show.
Wow.
Anyway, Joe Rogan, of all people, is taking this ivermectin or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, millions of people, we're talking about like getting false information earlier in the show, right? Like how people are getting information from the wrong sources, and that's why so if Joe Rogan's taking ivermectin, you can bet there's another 4 million people out there going to say, I'm not getting a shot. I'm going to take the fucking horse drug for worms.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Always follow medical advice from the FDA on Twitter.
Right. That is the lesson of the day. Now, the funny thing is, talking about a horse.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Anyone who's ever watched a pornography movie will somewhat recognize this next gentleman, Big B.
Old horse cock himself. Again, from the very liberal.
I have so many questions about this one.
From the very liberal piece of shit Guardian, adult film star Ron Jeremy indicted on more than 30 counts of sexual assault. Ladies and gentlemen, he's 68 years old, by the way.
He's not far behind Bill Cosby, but how does a porn star have the need to commit sexual assault?
That was my first
question. Cuomo has an ugly wife at home with a maid who's probably 300 pounds. He needs to grope. Ron Jeremy, as ugly as you are, you look like a fucking hedgehog. You have been sticking your penis in beautiful broads for 30 years.
Yep.
Why do you need to do this?
Jeremy
taking penis vitamins. That's why.
He's taking that blue pill.
Yes.
Jeremy, 68, whose legal name is Ronald Jeremy Hyatt, pleaded not guilty in Los Angeles.
Knew that before.
Ronald Jeremy Hyatt. He pleaded not guilty.
Hyatt. Have you seen the bulge in Ronnie Hyatt's pants?
Yeah, it just doesn't ring the same bell as Ron Jeremy. He pleaded not guilty in Los Angeles Superior Court on Wednesday to all the charges, which include 12 counts of rape. The indictment, which was returned August 19th and unsealed on Wednesday, covers allegations dating from 1996 to 2019. So he did this for like over fucking 20 years.
Right.
With victims age, and this is the bad part, which victims age 15 to 51.
Yeah, it's not.
The counts appear to be identical to charges filed against Jeremy last year, which he also denied.
But here's the thing, and this is coming from a guy, ladies and gentlemen, year after year, season after season, who has proclaimed, I have still, and I want this to be true even in the year 2021, Big B, I have still not raped.
That's good to know.
He's a porn star. Okay, sometimes being with the same woman for 20 years, I get a little frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
I still have not raped. You have banged so many, and not that I have the Ron Jeremy catalog on VHS or anything, but the guy's at his share.
He's probably, as far as the guys go, the most famous porn star there ever was.
Right.
Everybody knows of Ron Jeremy.
You're getting paid to bang women.
Right. He was such a popular porn star that he made the transition over to mainstream entertainment. He was in music videos. He was in mainstream movies as like an extra kind of, being himself. He's on talk shows. He's made that transition that most porn stars cannot do.
Right.
He has become a household name due to porn, and it's not not in a bad way.
Right. And can I be correct by saying this? Forgive me, because we don't release news on Twitter. You are a horse.
Well, you have a horse cock.
Yeah,
for sure.
You are a horse, Ron Jeremy. Why, in all this time, making all this money, and I don't think you're going to be as lucky as Bill Cosby. So, he's fucked.
Defense attorney Stuart Goldfarb.
We need characters like this.
Ron Jeremy is defended as a defense attorney named Stuart Goldfarb.
Was that like the first number he found in the United States?
It had to have been like on in fucking Los Angeles on a billboard somewhere. If you're in trouble, call Goldfarb.
Yes, Ron Jeremy's in the back of the paddy wagon, and the only thing he remembers is Goldfarb.
Goldfarb.
I get results.
If you're in trouble, Goldfarb is to your rescue. And you know what? Hold on.
There's probably an ad, but I can tell you the rest of the story. He's gonna rot in jail. Is he gonna, he's gonna bend down to pick up the soap, and Bubba's gonna come behind him, and he's gonna say, "You call that a knife?"
Well, so here's where I have a question about this, and you're right. It goes on and details what he's accused of, and I don't want to go into it. Is raping people and all that. Goldfarb said that his position is the same as when the criminal complaint was filed. He's innocent of all charges. This is where my question comes into play. Jeremy has been held in jail on a $6.6 million bail since his arrest in June 2020. 6.6
a year.
He's been in jail a year. $6.6 million is a shit ton of money for you and me. I would think that Ron Jeremy, throughout his career, has made somewhere in the neighborhood of a few $1 million.
Right. So you're thinking he's enjoying some anal.
He should have access to be able to post bond. If he didn't,
flat broke though. We've heard stories before where athletes and actors have made millions and millions of dollars, and somehow they've just pissed it away.
Yeah, and that's where my question comes from, because he did make that transition to mainstream media, and you get paid a shit ton more money, doing mainstream media stuff. And plus royalties on whatever. I don't know how the royalty structure works in porn, but he was the most famous male porn star ever. So he has to be making some money off that.
So
where did all his money go?
Here's another Cave Crew light bulb. Ron Jeremy or Goldfarb, whichever one is more available to reach out to us.
Right.
We will help you write a book.
Ooh.
And that will bail you out of all your debt. We will write the Ron Jeremy picture book.
Oh, it's a picture book, ladies and gentlemen.
Picture, well, it'd have to be with Ron Jeremy.
Well,
who would play Ron Jeremy? Alex Cardinelli.
You know, I thought I would hope to get through one season without mentioning his fucking name. But no, we're on episode 1, an hour and a half into it. His name comes up.
Well, I can imagine Alex Cardinelli about 500 pounds more looking like that because he stole goldfish from his local.
But I can guarantee he doesn't have what Ron Jeremy has between the legs.
No, I get that, but you know what's that thing like Pixar has where they CGI or whatever?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
So that's where we stand on old horsecock Ron Jeremy.
We'll report back. Maybe you'll have. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Maybe you'll have as much luck as Bill Cosby did. And now, ladies and gentlemen, is our favorite part of the news when we do the big story of the week.
It's time for Big B's Big Bang Story of the Week.
And this kind of ties into other stories.
If you recall, we had a story several, I don't know, even months ago now, probably the beginning of the summer, where a wedding couple, because of COVID, gave out invitations to various people in different groups.
Yeah.
If you were in group A, you were automatically invited. If you were in group B, so. If you were in group C, you were kind of the backup. You were in the bullpen in case somebody didn't make it, you could come.
That was one of my favorite stories we did last year.
So along those lines, from KRON Channel 4, I don't know where this is, in Chicago, newlyweds send a $240 bill to no-show wedding guests.
I love this idea. This is so cancel culture.
A pair of Chicago newlyweds have gone viral after sending an invoice to wedding guests who RSVP'd yes and didn't show up. The damage? A $240 bill to cover the cost of 2 people.
It literally says invoice.
Yes, on the very top, on the right, in big bold letters, invoice. Doug Simmons and Deidre Simmons have received praise and backlash on social media. What did the CDC have to say on Twitter about this is what I want to know.
Yeah. They must have an opinion. They have an opinion on everything.
Were they a cow or a horse? Maybe. I don't know. The two tied the knot at the Royalton Negril Resort and Spa in Jamaica, according to my hometown newspaper, the New York Post.
Yeah, very, very fancy.
In an August 23rd Facebook post shared by more than 6,000 people, Doug Simmons wrote, "Don't be offended when I send this invoice to you. It's going to look something like this. I'll be sending it via email and certified mail just in case you ain't get the email."
Get the email.
Hashtag petty post.
So, what do you think anyone paid this?
No, would you pay that if you got that invoice?
Listen, we've come across some pretty stupid people in the past.
We have. I wouldn't. I certainly would. I would fucking laugh at it.
Would never talk to that person again.
I get legitimate invoices from.
If I said I was going to a wedding, and we are in a pandemic where you're not supposed to travel and shit like that anyway, but if I said I was going to a wedding, 99.9% of the time I would go.
Now, keep in mind, this is in Jamaica, so you have to travel for this.
Right, but if I committed to something like that, there's a very good chance that I would follow through, or I decline right off the bat.
Right. Well, Doug Simmons told the Post,
"Why is it so cheap if it's in Jamaica? There's a flight, there's a hotel, there's a meal.
They're not paying for the flight and hotel. Apparently, the guest would be paying for the flight and hotel.
Well, this is just like their portion of the dowry,
the dinner.
Yeah. Okay.
The per plate.
The wedding gift, I'm assuming.
Well, no, not as they would just charge the per plate cost. So $120 per plate sounds about right.
All right.
Doug Simmons told the Post he repeatedly asked guests if they could make the destination wedding. Even after assuring him they'd be there, some guests still didn't show without so much as a call or text. I took that personally, Simmons told the news outlet. While the Simmonses have seemingly taken all the attention in stride, they admit it's not about the money. They say it's about feelings hurt and disrespected by the no-shows. Whether they will follow through on their request is another story.
Culture we live in.
Oh, yeah, it's ridiculous. Whether they will follow through on the request is another story. The couple said they are accepting payments via Zelle or PayPal.
What the fuck is Zelle?
Zelle is a banking payment app. So within, at least here in the U.S., within all major banks, when you go into your banking app, you have an option to Zelle somebody a payment. So it's like PayPal, but it's within your bank. So it's bank-to-bank transfer. You could Zelle somebody a payment. We do that. I do that all the time here in the U.S.
Okay.
So they and here's what here's my problem with this. You decided upon yourself that you were going to get married in Jamaica.
Right.
You could have got married locally wherever you live.
Downtown Chicago.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you decided you had to go to Jamaica for this expansive, ridiculous wedding. If some of your guests couldn't come when they originally said they could, again, like you said, we are living in a COVID world. Maybe they couldn't travel because maybe somebody wasn't vaccinated. Whenever something came up, somebody got sick and they couldn't travel.
Maybe they changed their mind. I can't remember my wedding, but I'm pretty sure someone that said yes probably didn't show up.
I would assume mine too.
I would also be very confident that someone wasn't invited showed up.
I don't think anybody not invited showed up.
We're going. Hey, that's Isby and DK.
I don't think anybody not invited showed up to my wedding, but I'm sure somebody that we invited that accepted didn't show up. I'm sure it happened.
Right. And you know what? I'm kind of bummed because I really wanted you to be there, but I'm not sending in an invoice.
Right. Whatever. You don't show up. You don't show up. Whatever.
It's kind of like a package deal. There you go. There's the check. We paid for the wedding.
Right. But in this case, the entitled liberal people that they are, we're going to go to a destination wedding. You told us you were going to go. You didn't show up. Don't ask the reason why they didn't show up. You didn't show up. You're going to get an invoice, and you owe me $240.
I just love to know, because it's one of the greatest marketing schemes of all time, Big B, is you throw something out there and 90% of the people will realize it's bullshit, but 10% of the people will bite. So I'm wondering if, like, let's say 10 people didn't show up. I'm wondering if they got $240 out of somebody.
If they sent invoices to, because they said a few people didn't show up, so it was more than just one person or couple. I can guarantee at least one of them sent them money.
I do too. Now here's the other end of that. If you invited me to your wedding and something came up, be it work, be it health, be it I just changed my mind. Mm-hmm. I personally would still send you a gift, like, some cash or some, what the fuck did you call it? Zelle. I'd sell you a couple bucks,
right?
Saying I apologize. Things didn't work out as I thought, but here's some Zelle, and I hope you had a good time.
I would too. Yeah, I would too. You know, if and I've done it even when I knew I couldn't make it, and I said I couldn't make it. I've still sent a gift because you're a friend of mine.
Right. You're just like, I'm really sorry. I'd love to be there. I really would be, even if I don't want to be.
Right.
But I'd still sell you something.
Right. Here's something. Here's a little something as a present from me because you're my friend, even though I can't be there on that day. Here you go. I would do the same, but
me just because you thought of me to invite me, whatever the reason is, you don't like the person, it doesn't matter.
Right.
They thought of you. It's courtesy. It doesn't even have to be a big sell. It could be a little bit.
But this is where timeline comes into play. One, when did the person decide they weren't coming? Were they at the airport and something happened and they couldn't come? And then on the other side, when did the bride and groom decide to invoice somebody? Because if it was like they invoiced the next day after their wedding, realizing that they didn't show up, and I got that, well, then fuck you. I'm not sending anything.
I could see Mrs. Fatty Face sitting at the head table with her tablet, working on a generic word invoice, going, fuck these.
Yeah. No, I could absolutely see that.
Honey, they're clanging the glass. I don't give a fuck. I'm invoicing these people. Like this is the kind of couple they appear to me on the outset.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree 100%.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, boys and girls, we've kind of run over a little bit, but it is the first show of season 8. It's our favorite time of the show. I'm not going to forget this week like I did a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to get a clean slate for you, but I'm going to tell you right now, I had written down a few runner-ups that will surely make it in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
Not in my ballywick.
Right.
And in exasperated tones.
Okay.
At one point, in exasperated tones was hands down my favorite until you said, you are not a horse.
Okay.
I just personally couldn't think of a better name of the first episode of a season. But I am going to guess that you have 4.
I have 5.
Oh, so close.
So close. And I think I have a better name than that.
Oh, I can't imagine it. All right. Give it to me.
So I will start off with a flying Walenda filling.
Hang on. Okay.
An Arizona Lent.
These are all good. You know what's good, ladies and gentlemen, when you're going to have to remove things even from the show notes. Number 3.
Number 3, coming from our friend Mike Jolitz. Do not epoxy your penis.
That's next week.
But he said it this week, so I wrote it down.
I know. All right. Number 4.
Number 4 is everybody's favorite. You are not a horse.
Yes. Oh. How can you deny you are not a horse?
You can't deny that you are not a horse. But I think, in my mind at least, I have one better.
I'm waiting.
Goldfarb.
Okay, so we're down to overtime here, and I agree with you that I had something written down about that too, but I didn't mention it. Are you confident? And I will stand in your corner as I always do.
Right.
that you want Goldfarb and bump You Are Not a Horse into the show notes.
I had You Are Not a Horse from the time I read it up until the time I heard Goldfarb.
And I had in exasperated tones and Not in My Bullywug. I think these all came from the same story except for Ron Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you do want Goldfarb with an exclamation point.
I love Goldfarb. However, if you think the other way,
what? I'm right in your neck of the woods. The last 20 minutes really gave me. I was worried, as I get in some shows.
Mm-hmm.
I really get worried, and I'm like, oh God, there is no name for the show. It would have ended up being a Flying Rolenda filling.
Right.
I will go with Goldfarb. I am confident in that.
I think nobody will understand what that means, and they will tune in just to try to figure it out.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, season 8, episode 1, Goldfarb, exclamation point. All right. So next week, we didn't have time. We'll get into that shit thing. And unlike Mike Jolitz, we will thoroughly get into the guy with the crazy glue on his penis. I will see you next week.
Yep. Later.
Happy Labor Day, by the way, everyone.
Oh, that's right. This weekend.
I want you to pack up and get out.
Get the hell out of here! Go! Just go! Get out! Get the hell out!
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.
Thank you very much for listening to the show. Now stay safe, take care, and wash your hands.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Fox and Friends in the morning, they're very honorable people.